Hello students, welcome to my channel Learning History Made Easy. In today's video, I will be explaining about the Bhakti movement as well as Sufi movement. Before going into the video, if anyone is seeing the channel for the first time or if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and share it with your friends. More than half of the people seeing the channel have not subscribed to my channel. So once again I request you to please subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends, and also click the bell button to receive notifications whenever I upload new videos. So without wasting time, let us get into the video. So as I told, we are going to discuss about the first topic, that is Bhakti movement. Bhakti movement. The Bhakti movement was a socio-religious movement that occurred in medieval period. So this was a socio-religious movement, and this movement took place during the medieval period. So Bhakti movement was a movement which took place in the medieval period. It was a socio-religious movement. The exponents of this movement, the people who were the exponents of the Bhakti movement, they gave importance to certain things. So they gave importance to devotion, because it is a social-religious movement. They gave importance to devotion. Then they gave importance to religious harmony, social equality, and also gender equality, social equality and gender equality. All these things were given importance by the exponents of Bhakti movement. So it was a socio-religious movement in medieval period, and the exponents of the movement gave importance to devotion, religious harmony, social equality and gender equality. Now one by one we are going to see the important personalities related to Bhakti movement. So the first person we are going to see related to Bhakti movement is Ramananda. Ramananda. His time period is 1400 to 1470 CE. So Ramananda has the credit of popularizing Bhakti movement in North India. So he was the person who popularized Bhakti movement in North India, Ramananda. And he was born at Prayag. The birthplace of Ramananda was Prayag. Prayag was his birthplace. And he preached Vaishnavism. The main principle of Ramananda was Vaishnavism. So Ramananda, he popularized Bhakti movement in North India. He was born in Prayag and he preached Vaishnavism. He believed in the Vishishtadvaita philosophy. So Ramananda believed in the Vishishtadvaita philosophy, and this Vishishtadvaita philosophy belonged to Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya's Vishishtadvaita philosophy was what Ramananda believed in, and he carried his teachings much further. And Ramananda, for preaching his philosophy, he used Hindi in place of Sanskrit. So Hindi was used by Ramananda in place of Sanskrit for preaching his philosophy. So he popularized the movement or Bhakti movement in North India. He was born in Prayag and he preached Vaishnavism. He believed in the Vishishtadvaita philosophy of Ramanujacharya and he used Hindi in place of Sanskrit. When Hindi was used in place of Sanskrit, it resulted in easy understanding of his preaching by common people. So Hindi was common people's language. So when he preached in Hindi, common people easily understood the teachings. And he was against caste system. Ramananda was against caste system. And he preached and he gave importance to brotherhood. So he said that brotherhood was important and he was against caste system. So when he used Hindi in place of Sanskrit, common people understood his teachings very easily, and he was against caste system and he gave importance to brotherhood. So these are the points related to Ramananda, that is the first personality in Bhakti movement. The next personality we are going to learn is Kabir. Time period is 1440 to 1518 CE. Kabir. So he was brought up by a Muslim weaver couple named Niru and Neema. So Kabir was brought up, or he was taken care by a Muslim couple. The Muslim couple's name was Niru and Neema. Niru and Neema were the people who brought up Kabir, or who took care of Kabir, a Muslim couple named Niru and Neema. He was one of the most important disciples of Ramananda. So Kabir was a disciple of Ramananda. And he preached equality and the religion of love. The main teaching of Kabir was equality, and he also said about the religion of love. That was the most important teaching of Kabir. And he said that this religion of love should aim at promoting unity among all caste and creed. Unity among all caste and creed. That means he also was against caste system, and he said that equality should be given importance and there should be a religion of love which will promote unity among all caste and creed. All the caste and creed should be united. He also agreed the equality between Hindus and Muslims. So he also said about the equality between Hindus and Muslims. He said that Hindus and Muslims should be united. That was what Kabir said. According to him, according to Kabir, Allah and Rama are the names of the same God. He said that Allah and Rama are just the same gods but with different names. That was the concept of Kabir. So Kabir, he was brought up by a Muslim weaver couple named Niru and Neema in Varanasi. Kabir was the most important disciple of Ramananda. He preached equality and the religion of love aimed at bringing unity among all caste and creed. He agreed the equality between Hindus and Muslims, and he said that Allah and Rama are the names of the same God, one and the same God. That was the concept of Kabir. According to Kabir, he said that God could neither be found in temple nor in mosque. So according to Kabir, God could be found neither in temple. That means you cannot find God neither in temple nor in mosque. Then what did he say? Where can we find God? He said that God can be found only in the heart of his devotees. So, but only in the heart of his devotees. So God is always there in the heart of his devotees. Not in temple, not in mosque. God is only in the heart of his devotees. That was the concept of Kabir. Okay, and he condemned, or he was against, Kabir Das was against idol worship, that is worshipping of idols. He was against idol worship and said that God could not be attained by pilgrimage, holy bath or praying loudly. So he was against idol worship, he was against pilgrimage, he was also against holy bath and also against praying loudly. So he said that God could not be attained by all these means. It was not possible to attain God with all these means. So he said God could neither be found in temple nor in mosque, but in the heart of his devotees. He condemned idol worship, and he said that God could not be attained with pilgrimage, holy bath, or praying loudly. Then how did he say God could be attained? He said that God could be attained, or we can reach or we can attain God. God could be attained through bhakti or devotion. Only one way is there to attain God, that is bhakti or devotion. So this was the idea or philosophy preached by Kabir. So he said God could not be attained by pilgrimage or holy bath or praying loudly, but God could be attained only by bhakti or devotion. The disciples or the followers of Kabir, they were very famous and they were called as Kabirpanthis. The disciples of Kabir were called as Kabirpanthis, and this Kabirpanthis included both Hindus and Muslims. Both were there in his disciples and they were called as Kabirpanthis. And he composed some devotional compositions. Kabir was very famous for his devotional compositions, and these compositions were called as Doha. So this was very famous. His devotional compositions were called as Doha. So Kabir said God could be attained only by bhakti or devotion. His disciples were called as Kabirpanthis, which included Hindus and Muslims, and his devotional compositions are called as Doha. So these were the points about Kabir. So this was a second personality in the Bhakti movement. Next, let us learn about the third personality, that is Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak, time period is 1469 to 1539 CE. Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak was the founder of Sikhism. So he was the founder of Sikhism. Guru Nanak was the founder of Sikhism, and he was influenced by the teachings of Kabir. So Guru Nanak was influenced by the teachings of Kabir. So he was the founder of Sikhism and was influenced by the teachings of Kabir, and he also preached about brotherhood of mankind. Guru Nanak preached about brotherhood of mankind. He gave importance to brotherhood of mankind. Guru Nanak also, like Kabir, he was also against idol worship. Same like Kabir, he was against idol worship, caste system, sati system, and all other social evils. He was also against all the social evils, and he advised the people to speak the truth. He gave importance to truth, and he advised the people to speak truth always. And he believed that misunderstandings was a cause for clash between Hindus and Muslims. The main cause for the clash between Hindus and Muslims is misunderstanding. That was the main cause for clash between Hindus and Muslims. That was what was said by Guru Nanak, Hindus and Muslims. So Guru Nanak was a founder of Sikhism. He was greatly influenced by the teachings of Kabir and preached the brotherhood of mankind. He was also against idol worship, caste system and sati system and all other social evils. He advised people to speak the truth, and he believed that misunderstanding was a cause for clash between Hindus and Muslims. Again, let us see some more points regarding Guru Nanak. He was against the exploitation of poor. So Guru Nanak was also against the exploitation of the poor people. When poor people was exploited, Guru Nanak did not like. So he was against the exploitation of poor people by the priests and upper class. When the priests and upper class were exploiting the poor people, Guru Nanak was against all these things. The Sikhs believed that he got enlightenment at the age of 30. So they believed that Guru Nanak got enlightenment at the age of 30. That was the belief of the Sikh people at a place near to Sultanpur. So he got enlightenment at a place near to Sultanpur at the age of 30. And for the next 30 years he travelled, and his disciples were called as Sikhs. The disciples of Guru Nanak came to be called as Sikhs, and he was a founder of Sikhism. And the holy book of the Sikhs is called as Guru Granth Sahib. Guru Granth Sahib is the holy book of Sikhs, and it is written in Gurumukhi script. It is written in Gurumukhi script. So he was against the exploitation of poor people by the priest and upper caste. It is believed that he got enlightenment at the age of 30 at a place near Sultanpur. For the next 30 years he travelled and gained spiritual experiences. His disciples were called as Sikhs, and the holy book was called as Guru Granth Sahib, which was in Gurumukhi script. So these are the points related to Guru Nanak. Now let us just go through the points which we have studied till now. Bhakti movement. This was a socio-religious movement that occurred in the medieval period. The exponents of this movement gave importance to devotion, religious harmony, social equality and gender equality. Ramananda. The credit for popularizing the movement in North India goes to Ramananda. He was born at Prayag and he preached Vaishnavism. He believed in the Vishishtadvaita philosophy of Ramanuja and carried his teachings much further. He used Hindi in place of Sanskrit. This resulted in easy understanding of his preaching by the common people. He was against caste system and preached brotherhood. Kabir. He was brought up by a Muslim weaver couple, Niru and Neema, at Varanasi. He was one of the most important disciples of Ramananda. He preached equality and the religion of love, aimed at promoting unity among all castes and creed. He agreed the equality between Hindus and Muslims. He said that Allah and Rama are the names of the same God. God could neither be found in temple nor in mosque, but only in the heart of his devotees. He condemned idol worship and also said God could not be attained by pilgrimage, holy bath or by loudly praying. God could be attained only through bhakti or devotion. His disciples were called as Kabirpanthis and included both Hindus and Muslims. His devotional compositions are in the form of Doha. Guru Nanak. He is the founder of Sikhism. He was influenced by the teachings of Kabir and preached the brotherhood of mankind. He was against idol worship, caste system, sati and other social evils. He advised the people to speak truth. He believed that misunderstanding were the causes for clash between Hindus and Muslims. He was also against the exploitation of the poor by the priest and the upper class. The Sikhs believed that he got enlightenment at the age of 30 at a place near Sultanpur. For the next 30 years he travelled widely and gained spiritual experiences. His disciples were called Sikhs. Guru Granth Sahib is the holy book of Sikhs and it is in Gurumukhi script. Now let us move on to the next personality in Bhakti movement. The next personality is Chaitanya. Chaitanya, and time period is 1486 to 1534 CE. So the next personality related to Bhakti movement is Chaitanya. He played the most outstanding role in the progress of Bhakti movement in eastern part of India. So Chaitanya played an important role in the progress of Bhakti movement, especially in the eastern part of India. Eastern part of India. So Chaitanya played an important role in progress of Bhakti movement in eastern part of India, and he was the founder, or we can say that he was the founder of modern Vaishnavism. So he is said to be the founder of modern Vaishnavism. Chaitanya was a founder of modern Vaishnavism, and it was made popular in Bengal through his kirtanas. Especially in Bengal region, it was made popular through his kirtanas. This was made popular. What was the belief of Chaitanya? He believed that the main belief of Chaitanya was, he believed that raga, that is basically singing and dancing, was the best path for salvation. He believed that raga was the best path for salvation. That means he believed that singing and dancing was the best path to achieve salvation. And he adored Krishna and Radha. Especially he adored the Krishna Radha concept. So he adored Krishna and Radha, and he attempted to spiritualize their life. So Chaitanya attempted to spiritualize their lives. So that was about Chaitanya. So Chaitanya played the most outstanding role in the progress of Bhakti movement in eastern part of India. He was the founder of modern Vaishnavism. It was made popular in Bengal through his kirtanas. He believed that raga, that is singing and dancing, was the best path for salvation. He adored Krishna and Radha and attempted to spiritualize their life. So only these many points are there related to Chaitanya. The last personality related to Bhakti movement is Mirabai. Mirabai, 1498 to 1569 CE. That is Mirabai. Mirabai was a highly religious personality since her childhood. So Mirabai was highly religious from her childhood and was a follower of the Krishna cult of Vaishnavism. So she was a follower of the Krishna cult of Vaishnavism. Krishna cult of Vaishnavism. So Mirabai was very religious from her childhood, and she was a follower of Krishna cult of Vaishnavism. Now after her husband's death, after Mirabai's husband's death, she completely devoted herself to religious pursuits. So she was completely into religious pursuits. After her husband's death, she was completely into religious pursuits. And she was a great devotee of Lord Krishna. Already we studied she was into Krishna cult. So she was a great devotee of Lord Krishna, and she popularized her cult in Rajasthan through her songs. So in Rajasthan, she popularized the Krishna cult especially through her songs. Mira is said to have composed numerous poems. So Mirabai is said to have composed numerous poems, and all of them are devotional songs. All the poems are devotional songs, and they are called as Mira Bhajans. They are very famous in Rajasthan, especially they are called as Mira Bhajans. And these Mira Bhajans are written in Brij Bhasha and some partly in Rajasthani. Okay, mainly in Brij Bhasha and some partly in Rajasthani, and some of the verses also are there in Gujarati. Okay, so Mirabai, she was highly religious since her childhood, and she was a follower of Krishna cult of Vaishnavism. After her husband's death, she devoted herself entirely into religious pursuits. And she was a great devotee of Lord Krishna and popularized her cult in Rajasthan through her songs. She wrote a number of poems, and all of them are devotional songs, and they are famous as Mira Bhajans. They were written in Brij Bhasha, partly in Rajasthani, and some of her verses are in Gujarati. So now just let us go through the points till whatever we have studied. Chaitanya, he played the most outstanding role in the progress of Bhakti movement in eastern part of India. He was the founder of modern Vaishnavism. It was made popular in Bengal through his kirtanas. He believed that raga, singing and dancing, was the best path for salvation. He adored Krishna and Radha and attempted to spiritualize their lives. Mirabai, she was a highly religious personality since her childhood and was a follower of the Krishna cult of Vaishnavism. After her husband's death, she devoted herself entirely to religious pursuits. She was a great devotee of Lord Krishna and popularized her cult in Rajasthan through her songs. Mira is said to have composed numerous poems, and all of them are devotional songs and are called Mira Bhajans. They were written in Brij Bhasha and partly in Rajasthani, and some of her verses are in Gujarati. So now let us move on to the next topic after Bhakti movement. The next topic we are going to learn is Sufism. Sufism. The term Sufi is derived from the word Saf. Okay, the term Sufi is derived from the word Saf, which means wool. The Sufi saints are said to have worn woolen clothes. So Sufi saints or the sannyasis of Sufism, they wore woolen clothes from which the term Sufi is finally derived. There is another meaning for the word Sufi, that is purity. We can also say another meaning is purity. The word Sufi, first we can say it means wool because the saints wore woolen clothes, and again one more meaning is purity. Again some people say that Safa is the platform outside the mosque. Okay, the platform outside the mosque is called as Safa, and some scholars believe that the term is derived from this Safa. So there are many beliefs from or many theories related to the word Sufi. Sufi means Saf, which means wool. The saints were wearing woolen clothes. From there we get the word Sufi. Again the word Sufi, Saf, means purity. One more belief of the scholars is Safa, that is a platform outside mosque. It is from that term that the word Sufi is derived. Now the influence of Hinduism on Islam in medieval India resulted in the rise of Sufism. So how did this Sufism came into being, that is influence of Hinduism on Islam? This happened during the medieval time in India. In medieval India, Hinduism had influence over Islam, and this resulted in the rise of Sufism. From this only Sufism started. That is, influence of Hinduism on Islam in medieval India resulted in the rise of Sufism. Now what is Sufism? What was the speciality of Sufism? The Sufi saints propagated social equality. So again Sufi sannyasis or Sufi saints also said about social equality, gender equality, religious harmony between Hindus and Muslims. All these were the main concept of Sufism: social equality, gender equality, religious harmony, etc. But some practices of Sufism was against the Islamic principles. So which were some practices in Sufism which were against Islamic principles? We can see some examples, that is music and singing. In Sufism there is music and singing as a part of or in the form of devotion to God. That was against Islamic principle. Music and singing as a part of devotion to God was against Islamic principles, but that is there in Sufism. Then worshipping the tombs of Sufi saints, worship of tombs of Sufi saints. That was another practice done in Sufism. Then another one was both men and women together offering prayers. Men and women offering prayers, that is together offering prayers at Dargah. So all these were some practices which was little different from the Islamic principle, that is music and singing in the form of devotion, worshipping of tombs of Sufi saints, that is Dargah, and both men and women offering prayer together at Dargah. So the Sufism propagated social equality, gender equality and religious harmony, but some of the practices were against Islamic principles. Some such practices were music and singing in the form of devotion to God, worshipping of tombs of Sufi saints, and men and women together offering prayer or praying at the Dargah. So that was some of the practices of Sufism. The Sufi saints later became very popular by their religious reforms. So the Sufi saints mainly did many religious reforms. Many religious reforms were done by the Sufi saints, and by this they became very popular. And both Hindus and Muslims became their disciples. So both Hindus and Muslims became their disciples of Sufi saints, because they did many reforms. So that was about main concept about Sufism. Now in Sufism there are two important orders. So Sufi orders. So there are two important Sufi orders. The first important Sufi order is called as the Chishti order. First important Sufi order, Chishti order. The Chishti order was founded by Khwaja Abdul Chishti. Khwaja Abdul Chishti was the founder of Chishti order. There were many other saints in this order other than Khwaja Abdul Chishti. There were many other saints in this order. One is Moinuddin Chisthi. Then again one more saint in this order is Fariduddin Chisthi. Moinuddin Chisthi, Sheik Salim Chisthi, Sheik Salim Chisthi. All these were important saints in this Sufi order, that is Chishti order. And related to the Dargah of this Chishti order, the Dargah at Fatehpur Sikhri, the famous Dargah at Fatehpur Sikhri is one of the most holy Sufi Dargah in India. So it is the most important Sufi Dargah in India, the Dargah at Fatehpur Sikhri. So in Sufi order, the first one is Chishti order. The founder was Khwaja Abdul Chishti. Moinuddin Chisthi, Fariduddin Chisthi, Sheik Salim Chisthi, etc. were some of the other important saints. The Dargah at Fatehpur Sikhri is the most holy Sufi Dargah in India. So that was the first important Sufi order. Now let us move on to the second important Sufi order. The second important Sufi order is called as Suhrawardi order. So first is Chishti order, the second one is Suhrawardi order. So this order was founded by the founder of the Suhrawardi order is Sheik Shahabuddin Suharawardi. His name is Sheik Shahabuddin Suharawardi, was the founder of this order. Sheik Shahabuddin Suharawardi was the founder of the Suhrawardi order. And the most famous saints other than Sheik Shahabuddin Suharawardi, the most famous saint of the order was Sheik Bahauddin Suharawardi. He was the famous saint, that is Sheik Bahauddin Suharawardi was the most famous saint of this order, famous saint of this Suhrawardi order. And so only these 2 points about Suhrawardi order. The founder of the order was Sheik Shahabuddin Suharawardi, and he is from Baghdad. So Sheik Shahabuddin Suharawardi was from Baghdad. And the other important famous saint of this order was Sheik Bahauddin Suhrawardi. Now, other than Chishti and Suhrawardi order, there were some other Sufi orders. So, other important Sufi orders, many were there. So, some other important Sufi orders, some examples we can see. First one is Firdausi order. Another one is Qadri order. Firdausi order, Qadri order, and one more is Mahdavi order, etc. So all these were the other important Sufi orders: Firdausi order, Qadri order, Mahdavi order, etc. So this was the points related to the two important Sufi orders. So now let us just see the points. Sufism. The term Sufi is derived from the word Saf, meaning wool. The Sufi saints wore woolen clothes, from which the term Sufi is finally derived. The other meaning of it is purity. Safa is a platform outside the mosque, and some scholars believe the term is derived from this. The influence of Hinduism on Islam in medieval India resulted in the rise of Sufism. The saints propagated social equality, gender equality, religious harmony, etc. Some of the practices were against Islamic principles. Some such practices are music and singing as form of devotion to God, worship of the tombs of the Sufi saints, Darga, both men and women together offering prayers at the Darga. The Sufi saints became so popular by their social religious reforms that both Hindus and Muslims became their disciples. Important Sufi orders. Chishti order. This was founded by Khwaja Abdul Chishti. Moinuddin Chisthi, Fariduddin Chisthi, Sheik Salim Chisthi, etc. were some of the important saints of this order. The Darga at Fatehpur Sikhri is one of the most holy Sufi Darga in India. Suhrawardi order. This was founded by Sheik Shahabuddin Suhrawardi of Baghdad. Sheik Bahauddin Suhrawardi was the most famous saint among this order. The other important Sufi orders are Firdausi, Qadri, Mahdavi, etc. So now let us see some important questions related to this topic. Where was Ramananda born? Prayag. Who was the founder of Sikhism? Guru Nanak. Which is a holy book of Sikhs? Guru Granth Sahib. Who was a devotee of Krishna who popularized her philosophy in Rajasthan? Mirabai. From which word is Sufi derived? Saf. Who was the founder of Chishti order? Khwaja Abdul Chishti. Who was the founder of Suhrawardi order? Sheik Shahabuddin Suharawardi. Name any two important orders among the Sufis: Chishti order and Suhrawardi order. Name any two important saints of Chishti order: Sheik Salim Chisthi, Moinuddin Chisthi. Give an account of Kabir and Guru Nanak. The answer I have explained in the video. The points under the topic Kabir and Guru Nanak you have to write for this answer. This is a 5-mark question. So I hope all these points are very clear. So with this we finish 6th chapter. So I hope you have understood everything clearly. If you have any doubts related to this topic or any other topic, you can ask in the comment section. So please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Your likes, comments, shares all will be of great encouragement for me to make more and more videos. So I hope to see you all soon in the next video. Thank you for watching.